With my engineering background, I'm a firm believer in iterative development, and that you'll never learn more than when your customer is using your product.
I love this guy, dude. This guy is the most based specimen. If he wasn't married, I'd start hitting on him. Like, God is my witness, bro. This is the Tico talk. This is essentially like the developer talk, or like the devs kind of talking to us for Throne and Liberty. So let's see what Tico
What's up, gamers? Welcome back to Tico Talks Throne and Liberty. I'm Tico, Globalization Design Manager at Amazon Games for Throne and Liberty. With our first siege just behind us and about a month since our last talk, it's the perfect time to reconnect with all of you in our community. Before we dive into today's topics, I want to thank all of you for your incredible response to our last Tico Talks video. What touched me most wasn't just the positive feedback, but how thoughtfully and respectfully you shared your suggestions for improving Throne and Liberty.
I love it when they say that, because you know there was some autistic screecher in the comments. Fix your game! Thank you for how respectful and calm you guys were and patient you are with us with your feedback.
That kind of constructive dialogue is invaluable to us. While we may not always make decisions...
Tico looks like Dexter, not like... Tico is Dexter, okay? He probably kills serial killers in his free time. He's a good man. ...that
align with everyone's individual wishes. Please know that I'm committed to maintaining this open communication with you, and every choice we make is aimed at creating the best possible game for our community as a whole. Now buckle in. We have substantial ground to cover today.
Okay.
Let's start with castle sieges. After watching multiple point of views from each region's sieges and reviewing feedback across Discord, Reddit, and other platforms, one thing stands out. This event truly sets Throne and Liberty apart.
It really does. I'm going to be honest with you. It absolutely does. I think that everybody was super hyped for Siege, and I think it went super well when you look at like the scope of the game. If you won, you know, winners win. It was like a huge thing. And if you lost, you were so fucking angry, loser. Because it felt like an important event for a lot of players worldwide. I've probably watched more sieges than anyone because of the VOD reviews we did after it and we continue to do on it. But like, I'm telling you, bro, the siege, amazing, absolutely incredible content.
The scale of player participation creates unique battle scenarios unlike any other MMO. Our biggest siege had over 3,900 participants on the Stormbringer server. We saw nearly 45% of castles change ownership, and over 40,000 players received some amount.
Wow, 45% of castles changed ownership. And you know, somewhere out there in the universe, Kelty just woke up in a cold sweat. Did somebody say my name? Could have sworn somebody said my name. Those little rats that like backdoored. A big shout out to those people. EU had some crazy close sieges too, where like it came down to like the final 30 seconds and like the throne is being changed back and forth. They were crazy close, most of the sieges. I felt like they're really well designed and super well balanced. My only critique for the whole thing was that I think that lava golems probably either need to last a little longer or there needs to be another one, because the second gate is a little tough to get through, and I don't think anybody really... It was hard to push through that second gate, and not very many people successfully did it.
Amount of loosened payout. I watched so many awesome clips from our players making
Dead ass though.
Some incredible plays. It was so fun to watch. While it will take some time to review each server's unique battle, we have noticed and heard from many of you about areas in which we need to improve. Our approach to sieges is as follows.
Because you watch me too much,
Our goal is
Audrey.
to make sure everything functions properly from a technical standpoint. Events of this magnitude are incredibly challenging to pull off, and we've put a lot of focus in to ensure they are technically sound. Second is to evaluate the overall challenge.
You know the reason that he said that is because everybody that lost like accused the winning team of being exploiters, dude. Like almost unanimously. That was what happened. Like so many people were like, they exploited. It's literally crazy, bro. There's that whole cheating drama that we should watch like later. Like it's crazy.
And fun factor. And third is to evolve sieges over time to ensure they meet the needs of our players and continue to feel fresh. With this, there are some items I want to address directly right now. Shortly before the siege, we learned of a tactic that attackers could use to access the inner courtyard.
Oh yeah, so this is crazy, and a couple people did lose their siege because of this.
Earlier than intended through the western side rooftops.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, we learned about it too late to address it in an optimal way prior to the siege. Due to cross-platform publishing deadlines, both fixing the issue or delaying the siege would have required releasing an untested build, risking problems for all players.
No, I'm gonna be honest. I think that they handled it as well as they could have. Knowing that they got the knowledge late, delaying the siege would have been catastrophically bad for the game. I think that and trying to fix it on the fly would also have been really, really bad as well. I think that at least telling everyone and arming, knowledge is power in siege, in large scale PvP, guys. And so what they did was they armed the defenders and the offenders. Everybody had the same knowledge, right? So everybody knew that it was happening. Some defenders were able to successfully defend against it. Others weren't. But I think that Amazon kind of did what they could in this case.
We debated this heavily internally, and ultimately we decided that raising awareness to give defending teams time to strategize their defenses was the best choice of two less than ideal options.
Yep.
I'm deeply sorry for anyone impacted by this decision. We're committed to resolving any unintended advantages as quickly as possible whenever they may surface.
W apology.
This particular issue will be resolved prior to the next castle siege on December 1st. We also identified two issues that impacted some servers where pillage zones couldn't be captured by guilds, and the Lucent distributions from those captured pillage zones were not being properly distributed.
Easy. That's crazy. All right, that's weird.
Both of these items will be resolved before the next siege. For anyone impacted by the distribution issue, we will identify and provide appropriate restitution. We are reviewing all claims on a case.
Restitution. Holy shit. They're literally going to give people Lucent. What the bro? Pearl Abyss could never. Dude, the developer is this is kind of rare, guys. The developer is taking accountability for the bugs in their game, and literally they're saying that they're going to give people restitution, which means that if you try to capture the pillage point, they're going to give you Lucent. That's pretty crazy.
By case basis, and we'll follow up with those impacted.
He's reading a teleprompter 100%. Of course they are. Are you kidding me? The Path of Exile devs were doing the same thing. Do you think you're going to get up in front of 1 million people or 100,000 people and not be reading a teleprompter? Your name would be Blue Squadron.
Another hot topic from the siege is that of PvP immunity following resurrection and teleportation.
Or Donald Trump.
It's clear that the current 30-second timer is excessive for certain siege scenarios.
Whoa, for what? Hold up.
From the siege is that of PvP immunity following resurrection and teleportation.
True. It should be 5 to 7 seconds.
It's clear that the current 30-second timer is excessive for certain siege scenarios.
Maybe 10.
To change it will require development, as this timer is linked to many other parts of the game where 30 seconds.
I think that 10 seconds is a fair middle ground. I think that if you allow people to be invulnerable for 10 seconds after they spawn, it gives their computer a chance to catch up if they lag, and they have a chance to move away from the stun.
Is appropriate. We're going to invest that effort, and we're going to fix it as quickly as possible.
Amazing.
But unfortunately, that won't arrive in time for the next few castle sieges, so stay tuned. There is more info coming up later in this video on Mega Alliances, so keep watching to hear more about that topic.
That's pretty crazy. So they know that's a good thing, because they're blatantly saying, yes, we know about these mega alliances where if you guys don't know the problem that's going on in TNL right now, essentially you have 4 guilds in one alliance, and what they're doing is they're going to feud another 4 guilds. Okay, so you have 4 guilds in your alliance, and then you feud 4 guilds, and then you just don't attack everyone that's marked as a feud target and everyone in your alliance that's not marked. And then you can also coordinate with these other guilds, and so there's handshake deals going on. You have extra guilds defending the castle that kind of aren't supposed to be. And I'm going to be honest with you. They said that about 45% of the castles flipped ownership. I would say that that is about as good as you're going to get in terms of overall balance. And that's with allowing people to help defend the castle if they want to. So that almost should be allowed. If that statistic is actually legitimate, Having other guilds defend the castle with you, if you want to do the politics that way, seems like it's working. You know what I mean? But like, who actually really knows? But I will say that them addressing that this is a problem, it is a good thing. At least at world bosses and everything else, like mega alliances will absolutely kill the game. It kills the spirit of PvP, and it's not fun.
Of course, this isn't a comprehensive.
What up, Solid FPS? Shield is still meta for the next siege. Jesus, yeah. I mean, like, so that's another big thing is people are exploiting this. For those of you that don't know, when you spawn in a siege, like at the respawn point, you have 30 seconds of invulnerability to run and do whatever you want. Okay, as long as you don't like try to attack somebody. So like what guilds would do is they would respawn and they would run 30 seconds into the throne room, because like the spawn for the throne room is like out here, and then they would spawn up and they would just run into the throne room in full invulnerability and then wipe everyone once they were already in the throne room. So this was kind of being exploited by people.
List of all the siege improvements that we're looking into, so please keep giving us your feedback. We're committed to actioning it. While we're on the topic of PvP, I want to spend some time to talk to everyone in our great PvP community who is watching. As a longtime enjoyer of PvP myself, I want you to know that PvP will remain an important aspect of Throne and Liberty. Our game's unique ability to bring scale into PvP is both one of the most exciting and challenging parts of the game to manage. With design at scale, small changes can sometimes have a larger than intended impact, so we have to be very careful on how and when we implement changes in these areas. Here are some of the key areas we're focused on to help improve the experience for PvP. Let's start with crowd control. Simply put, we think crowd control is having a larger than intended impact on battle without sufficient methods to prevent it.
I think the sleep change was good, and that will prevent like really big sleep bombing and like initiates and stuff. I think the next thing that probably needs to be addressed is tornado is a little obnoxious. Because you can be tornadoed multiple times in a row, you spend like 9 hours in the air and then just die.
We're going to do two things. First, we're going to significantly increase the rate at which your CC immunity gauge builds up, especially when you have multiple CCs impacting you at a given time. We hope this will reduce those times where it feels you can't control your character for extended periods of time.
There it is. Right? Yep.
And this change will come in December.
Okay.
Second, we're working on bringing a change to the Purification Stone that will give players an additional enhancement to choose from when activating the stone. This change will also come in December.
Oh, so he's not going to cook on that? Oh my God. For those of you that don't know what the Purification Stone is, it's this thing. Oh, there we go. So basically this cleanses a CC off of you once every 2 minutes. So basically every single push, if you get CC'd, you can just pop it. Right? And so now they're basically upgrading the stone effect. This is really solid way to get around floating in the air, or I mean like being stunned or slept for like a million years. I've never tried to cleanse the float. Can it cleanse a tornado float? I don't think that it can. I've never tried to do that. I don't think it just sets your feet back on the ground. No, it can't. Okay. Anyway, so this stone is really important for PvP. Everyone needs to have this stone. It's relatively easy to get now. And I have like a short on how to get it if you're wondering. It's on my YouTube channel. But like they're upgrading this stone to be able to add options to it. I don't really know what that means. Like, how do you upgrade it? It can already remove CC. And if they're talking about adding options to remove potentially more CC, or maybe you can use it, maybe it reduces the cooldown on it, or maybe it can be popped twice in a row, but it's got a longer cooldown. Who knows? We'll see.
Next, I want to talk about mega alliances. This is a challenging problem to solve that doesn't have a silver bullet solution. Oftentimes, eliminating certain elements of the game that help mega alliances thrive would also hurt guilds who use those features for intended gameplay. For now though, we will be removing hostile guild relationships fully from the game. This change will come in December.
There it is! There it is, guys! I told you, they're like, all right, we're gonna fix mega alliances. Removing the feud guild system from the game makes it much harder for mega alliances to actually coordinate. It will still be a problem, but it makes it much harder. That is a really positive and good change for the game. It will still happen, but but their coordination will be scuffed, and the other guilds will have a chance to capitalize on that disorganization.
Mega alliances also require looking at the human element, though.
Yep.
While incentives are causing these alliances to form, balancing them is tricky. Swing the pendulum too far the other way, and it could harm all of our guilds.
Correct.
For conflict mode bosses in particular, we are working on this issue to adjust how rewards are managed. We don't have an exact timeline for this change just yet, but we'll let you know once we have firmer dates.
Wow, that's actually a big deal. What he's alluding to here, guys, is the only, like, they might give rewards based on your alliance's contribution and not necessarily, like, so that way they're going to limit the incentive that guilds have to work together. Right now it's based on guild contribution, right? And so, like, you can have a lot of guilds working together and every guild still gets contribution. They can punish guilds heavily that are working together by just rewarding one of them and not rewarding the other one, because that will help de-incentivize the mega alliances at conflict bosses. But again, good idea. Why not just demonize conflict bosses the same way they did with Siege? Oh, dominionize. What do you mean by dominionize? Like, make it everybody against the castle owner at conflict bosses? How is that going to work? Or just, oh, you mean like put people onto teams, like the red and blue? They could do that, but then there's only two colors there. So you'd have one team fighting another team, unless you just want to randomly put guilds onto teams, and then you're going to have lopsided teams. So that won't work. It's just not going to work. Like if every alliance is a different color, then you can't do that, because if you're like, oh, well, we're going to make Ethereum, or we're going to make Cannons a guild red, and then we're going to make this guild blue and this guild green. Well, if these three guilds want to work together, they're like, okay, well, just don't hit blue and green, guys. Right? The only way, like, if you change the colors of the other guilds, they're going to notify each other and be like, hey, we're red, don't hit red. They'll be like, okay, right? So that won't work, right? The dominionize thing won't work here, because they do that in Siege too, and for conflict bosses, it would be really simple.
When we make this change, our goal is to create a fair balance across all participants.
Your guild equals always green, your allies equals always blue, and then the server equals always red. Fixed. They could try to do that, but then here's what guilds are going to do. Okay, you guys just sit at 0.2. Okay, the guilds at 0.2 are friendly. Don't push 0.2, right? We're going to sit at 0.1, and then everyone that's not at 0.1 and 0.2, we're just going to attack, right? It's still going to happen. It doesn't work as simple. In Siege, it's extremely chaotic. There's a lot going on. People are hitting each other. It's really hard to coordinate. At a conflict boss, you can kind of just sit a guild at one spot and then have them sit outside the safe zone and group up and be like, hey, we're at 0.2. Like, okay, guys, we're not pushing 0.2, right? And they're going to coordinate together. So the Dominion thing doesn't work as well for conflict bosses, right? Like, I think that their approach is probably the best, in that you have to just de-incentivize people to work together in that fashion, so that people who do try to be virgins and do that at world bosses, they're just not going to be rewarded for it.
Participants, while still ensuring the strongest performers see the appropriate benefit for their success. So stay tuned as we finalize those details and share them with you later. A key place we want to improve is the general availability of PvP for our players more broadly. With the current scale of players required for the majority of PvP in the game, there are some barriers to PvP accessibility right now. That's why on December 5th, we are bringing our new feature, War Games. And War Games provides a custom lobby feature for conquest battles, or riftstones and boonstones. Within the War Games menu, players can create their custom lobby, selecting what stone they want to fight over, the number of teams that will fight, and the size of each team. Then players.
Let's back that up for a minute. We could do Scrim Lobby and Node Wars. Yeah, so that's what that just sounded like. So guys, it sounds like they're going to allow guilds to basically make lobbies where they can just fight other guilds on Boon Riftstones in like custom matches.
On December 5th, we are bringing our new feature, War Games. And War Games provides a custom lobby feature for conquest battles, or riftstones and boonstones. Within the War Games menu, players can create their custom lobby, selecting what stone they want to fight over, the number of teams that will fight, and the size of each team. Then players join in, and once the lobby is full, you start the match. My favorite thing is you can do
That's very interesting. That's very, very interesting. I think that is a really good thing to encourage inter-server wars like this. It decreases server transfers too, which is a thing that a lot of people worry about. But like, custom lobbies will allow guilds to beef with each other across servers, which is pretty sweet. I personally would like it if you would give us a spectatable 3v3 arena. Would be great. For no particular reason. I would really like it if you could give us a spectate PvP arena. That would be fantastic. No, only play my favorite MMO. You guys are obnoxious.
Do private and public matches. So we think the use cases for players is going to be huge.
Yep.
Competitive PvP guilds can use it for practices, while less competitive guilds can do inter-guild skirmishes with their friends.
Correct.
We're purposefully introducing war games as a feature that does not currently provide rewards. We're doing that because
it's a good idea.
We want to grow the feature based on where the community naturally gravitates.
True.
With my engineering background, I'm a firm believer in iterative development, and that you'll never learn more than when your customer is using your product.
I love this guy, dude. This guy is the most based specimen. If he wasn't married, I'd start hitting on him. Like, God is my witness, bro. Because like, normally when somebody gets up and does a dev talk for me, they're always telling me what they're gonna do, and like, it's not based on what the players want. It's based on what they want and what they think the players want. This guy very clearly is just like, all right, well, let's see what the customer says, and then we'll just do what the customer wants, because the customer is right. God, so good, bro.
So please, try out the feature and share your feedback, and we'll use that input to build an engaging, fully fledged PvP mode with integrated rewards. Lastly, I want to talk about Conquest Battle Times. I told you in my last video to please take our player survey because we really use it to guide how we evolve the game, and this is a prime example. Thank you to everyone who gave feedback on the topic of Conquest battle timing in our survey. It's clear that the large majority of our community thinks they start too early. Starting on December 5th, we're going to push Conquest battles to start at a later time.
They're showing Rift and Boonstones right now. Does that mean they're going to shove Rift and Boonstones back too?
Share the new time as soon as it's finalized. We're going to keep listening to feedback from our community and keep iterating while we strive for continuous improvement. We spent a lot of time so far discussing PvP due to the recent completion of our largest endgame PvP event. But PvE is equally as important to us as PvP. We've got a lot for all of our players, so let's get into the rest of our topics now.
Okay.
Let's talk about dungeon matchmaking. Last time we talked, I mentioned that we added an incentivized random dungeon option to the matchmaking feature in order to help address queue times. And it worked.
It did.
So we've seen a great improvement in our queue times for matchmaking, and we are
You're welcome.
Thrilled about that.
That was feedback that I gave in my patch note rundown, and I gave it live several times as well. But like, obviously the player, I'm not going to take full credit for it. The player base gave this feedback like kind of across the board. So on behalf of the players, you're welcome. And also myself.
However, it's led to two situations. One, players are using this option in an unintended fashion that essentially bypasses the randomness. And
that's true. That is a problem. And I said this on stream too. I was like, so like, I was literally watching like a Siege VOD review, and the guy was queuing for a random dungeon, and he was like, it tells you which dungeon you're going to get into, and people will just queue for the random dungeon, see that the queue is for, you know, Cave of Desperation, and be like, no, that's not the one I want. And then they'll hit X, and then they'll queue again, and they'll just wait until they'll keep doing that until they get the one that they want. Right? So just don't show people the dungeon that they're going to get, and then punish people if they leave during the dungeon. If you load in during a dungeon and then leave, give like a 10-minute queue timer.
And two,
problem is that random makes you do the same dungeon 10 times in a row. Well, that's RNG, bro. Like, you can't make every system perfect. Okay, like, it is what it is.
Players feel that they have to make a choice between playing with friends and doing what's most efficient. The original intent of this change, beyond helping queue times, was to encourage more experienced players to make a choice where they could help other players and in exchange, they would be eligible to receive extra rewards, so both
I'm about to do a bunch of co-op dungeons.
sides could be satisfied. But that hasn't quite hit the mark yet. So there are two changes for this. The first step is that on November 21st, we made a change allowing up to 4 players to queue together for random dungeons.
Really good.
This serves 2 purposes. First, it will let you more easily play with your friends, while still leaving space for random players to help with
Yo, Lane, I saw you in chat yesterday, man. Thanks for all the support, buddy. You know I love you. Also, you're a beekeeping loser.
queue times. Second, it should allow you to have more coordination in that group of friends, and we hope that lessens the burden some of the more experienced players have felt when trying to help less experienced players complete dungeons. Then, in December, we will also add a penalty for players who do not accept the random dungeon queue.
There it is. I say it, and then it comes out of his mouth. Just punish people that don't accept the queue,
Or choose
or they choose to leave.
to leave the dungeon early.
There it is. Bro, I say it. He said, these guys are units. That's lame. Why are they even doing that? Because people like you keep leaving the dungeon queue. Pre-watched. You think this shit was pre-watched? This shit's great.
This will help ensure that the random dungeon queue serves its intended purpose of being random. I want to give you an update on our work fighting bots. We're making good progress. As bots pop up, we're beating them down.
I'm going to be honest with you. I haven't seen a bot in over a week. I don't know about you guys. I'm curious how many of you guys do you guys think that the botting problem is really like super big now? Like, I haven't seen a bot in a while. Like, I think the last time I saw one, I saw it was queued for a co-op dungeon. It was in a co-op dungeon, but in the open world, running around, I don't really see them very much anymore.
But the fight against them is never over.
If you think it's
We'll continue
lame, you're
to
the
prioritize
problem.
limiting
Yeah.
the impact of bad actors within the game. And on top of that, we've taken a tough stance on RMT. Recently, we made additional changes to our approach of clawing back Lucent from those who RMT. In addition to sending them into negative balance and restricting them from the auction house, we also have adjusted the guild distribution system to prevent those players from receiving guild distribution while
I saw a story from a guild from another server. I'm not going to say their name. But the guy, they were like, yo, check this guy out. It's a DM to leadership. They go, hey, I got wrongfully negative Lucent balance, so I'm not going to be able to log in for 2 days. They're like, well, why'd you get negative Lucent balance? Like, they think I RMT'd. And they're like, well, what did you do? He's like, I have not RMT'd. I bought my account, and then I haven't RMT'd at all since I bought my account. There it is. Guys, just so that you're aware, if you buy your account, it was very likely botted to where it's at, and they're banning you, and you deserve it. I just want to be clear. I guess the W that they're on top of this.
in negative balance. This
Fucking
change was
idiots.
made prior to the first castle siege. We've seen this policy be very effective so far, but we are also going to pursue RMT players further, as it's our goal to consistently maintain
Good.
a fair play
Run 'em
environment
down!
for all our players.
Yep.
One of Throne and Liberty's strengths is its ability to perform at large scale, and we want to embrace
Yep.
that. We've been working to improve
That's what
and
I love about it.
optimize all of our events since launch and have made great strides. Arc Boss Peace Mode events, however, are still not where we want them to be. Having thousands of players in such a small area is causing a burden for many of our
I'm going to keep it a buck. We had like 3,000 players at our last Arcbox event. I'll say 2,000 conservatively. And do you know how many portals there were? 2. What the dude? I mean, like give us more portals so that we have more opportunity. Like, what the are we talking about? We're all going to cram into 2 portals? It's making it brutally laggy. Like,
our players' ability to enjoy the event as intended. So we're going to increase the number of portals that spawn.
guys, I swear to God, I have not pre-watched this. The reason I'm pausing it ahead of time is so that I can give my take, only to have them give their take. I'm not... Guys, this literally came out 10 hours ago. I have not seen it yet. Okay, I have not seen it yet. Okay, I haven't interacted with it. And here's the message from Note right here. Hold on. I got proof. I've got receipts. Here's Note telling me at 4:17, right here, after I was live, 4:17 p.m. Yo, here's this thing. Bet I'll react to it today. Watching it now, 5:40. There it is. Okay, I have not seen this yet. Okay, I promise I have not seen this. This shit's crazy. They're just that good, guys. I don't know. Like,
on during peace mode for the Arc Boss events, similar to how we increased the portal count for regular field
can we just focus on the W here? Focus on the W.
bosses a few weeks back. We think this will significantly help with the performance in these events. And by the way, I think people will also enjoy more chance to get
Show your YouTube watch history. I don't even know how to do that.
that sweet, sweet Arc Boss loot. We have a boatload of new content coming to end the year strong. As you heard on Eye of Silezium a few days ago, on November 21st, we released the first wave of our 2-star co-op dungeons. We've mentioned before that we want to release content when it makes sense for our players, and this was one of those cases.
You can remove it from your history by just pressing X. Okay, how do I do that before I show you guys? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, all right. Anyway, as we were.
We had originally intended to release these a little bit later, but we made the call to move them forward and release 4 of them right away because we saw the data showed you were ready for it. So I really hope you've been enjoying them. As
I have not gotten a chance to do them quite yet. They came out yesterday, so.
Godspeed mentioned in that video, we also have Dimensional Trials releasing on December 5th. These trials will be versions of the 2-star dungeons with increasingly difficult levels, leaderboards, and rewards. Oh, and by the way, you can do them infinitely and always get rewards. So for all my hardcore PvE,
oh, wait, that's crazy. All these losers that keep saying Throne and Liberty's garbage because it's all time-gated content can shut the f up. That's insane. That's crazy. So you can run it as many times as you want and still get rewards every time.
friends, go have some fun. That's just part of all the new content coming December, so stay tuned to all our channels as we keep revealing more of what's coming soon. We're also committed to bringing you more quality of life improvements, and as we head into the end of this year and the beginning of next year, we're going to put a strong emphasis on improving some of the pain points and core parts of our game, particularly in combat and movement. We've received feedback that players are frustrated with some aspects of this part of the game.
Well, some players don't like the fact that you can't jump and move at the same time, like move while you're jumping, right? Like in different directions. And then targeting is a serious issue.
And we want to improve that. So look forward to the early part of next year for us to bring several impactful updates that we think will make combat and movement feel more fluid, intuitive, and natural. We're so grateful for all the participation following our release and truly believe the community is the driving factor. All of us at AGS and NCSoft are committed to servicing the game, providing great updates, and continuing our launch momentum into the years to come. This is a never-ending journey where we need to continually prove our dedication to the game and to you, our community. We remain committed to using your feedback as a driving force for our development. And to that end, during my last video, I left the community with a question. What would you like to see changed in Throne and Liberty? Well, as I promised, I read each and every comment, and we're making lots of changes because of them. So I just...
Where is my boob slider? Where is my boob slider? Oh, hold on. He said he read every comment. He said he read every comment. Thank you for this video. We love stuff like this. The thing I want most in Throne of Liberty is a boob slider. I feel like it would help with my immersion in the game, and it feels like the game is tremendously lacking without it. Look, all I'm saying is it has 80 upvotes, okay? Clearly, this is something that people want. You said you read every comment? Where's our boob slider? I'm going to say it again on this video. You think I won't?
Just wanted to highlight a few of those now. But don't worry, this isn't everything. On November 21st, we introduced Alliance Chat.
The Alliance Chat was a massive W.
Happy to say that additional skill and equipment presets will be added in December. Thanks for your patience on this. We wanted to adjust this so that once you invest in these, they are permanently part of your character. We're adding
Whoa, what?
First, we introduced Alliance Chat. I'm happy to say that additional skill and equipment presets will be added in December.
Oh, it's so good. How is Throne and Liberty getting gear presets before Black Desert Online? The game is like 10 years younger than BDO is. What are we talking about? What the f is going on? This is wild. They're immediately giving us gear and skill preset, guys. This is amazing. This is so good. Does this mean that Dismantled will be in alliance with Reassembled? Probably. I don't really know what Reassembled's going to do quite yet. I think the plan is to stay competitive, but like our goal was to get through Siege. We got through Siege, and we're going to just ride it out, see what happens there. Yeah, we want... Okay, so here's what players want. Players want gear presets matched up with their skill presets, right? When you switch to PvP, it should swap your gear, right? But also they want more of these. Anybody want more of these? Just more skill presets would be great. They give us like 5 to 10 of these would be amazing for different things. And then also tie them with gear and skill specializations would be amazing too, right? Yeah, that's what players want. And that's what he's talking about giving us, guys.
Thanks for your patience on this. We wanted to adjust this so that once you invest in these, they are permanently part of your character. We're adding an...
That's actually an excellent point. Presets should tie in with your settings. So if you have one that says Siege, it should change your settings to low. It should change your skill presets to where you want them, skill specializations, and equip the gear that you want. Smart. True.
An option to automatically decline party invites from players other than those in your guild or friendly guild to help prevent griefing during PvP encounters.
Oh, nice.
We expect this to be available in December. And last but not least, we are very happy to announce that we are working on adding mouse and keyboard support for our console players, and we expect that to become available in Q1 of 2020.
Console are human beings? Wait, what? Stop updating things for console. You're making Black Desert Console look like a third world country. That's crazy, bro. That's amazing for console though. That's really good. I think because like some of the controller targeting is just so miserable, you know what I mean?
2025.
And it's like only less miserable on mouse and keyboard.
Thank you all again so much for the constructive dialogue you've given us. Your feedback is truly our North Star. And by the way, our next survey will be available on December 12th, and you'll be able to access it directly in game. So please give us your feedback then as well. All right, that brings us to our new community question. What we'd really like to know is, what types of holiday events would you like to see added to Throne and Liberty? Let me know down below in the comments. Please like and subscribe. That lets us know you want more of these kinds of videos. We will read each and every comment, so let us know what you think. I hope...
Will you now? Read every comment.
This was informative. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in Silesium.
All right, boys, let's let them have it. Let's do it. Ass slider or riot, one thing at a time. Okay? That's why they call us progressives. It's because we're never happy. We are progressively asking for more sliders. Here's the video right here. I would encourage all of you to go comment on the video. This is an amazing video. These are so good. Hello. The type of holiday event that oh, wait. Let's glaze them a little bit.
Smoxis just resubscribed for 9 months. We're a newborn dad.
The type... Yo, Smoxies, welcome back for 9 months. We're a newborn dad. What are we naming the baby? We're going to name the baby Tico. Because then it will be an attractive man. But if it's a girl, we're still going to name it Tico because it can be a lady's name too. We love it. We love Tico. Okay. Welcome back for 9 months, buddy. I appreciate you. And then if you're a real, actual newborn dad, huge congratulations on the sex, man. We're all very proud of you. Okay. All right. So this type of video is amazing. Thank you. The type of holiday event that I would like the most in Throne and Liberty would be a boob slider event. In fact, why don't we just make it a year-round thing?
Adrienne's fam just resubscribed for
this
14
would
months.
really
THX
help
for all the
We
entertainment.
get into the holiday spirit. Merry Xmas. There it is. We appreciate you listening to the community. True. Additional scope resets, the Halloween event. Like, I'm just being honest, okay? Yeah, the transparency is so refreshing. It's so good, guys. Clarity of communication is a breath of fresh air. Yeah, like, honestly, like, there's just not very many developers doing this. And, like, I just want to say, guys, to close out the react, I think it's amazing that NCSoft is almost bankrupt and they have to listen to us as players. I think that desperation really puts a firm
If after the third
grasp.
time asking they don't give boob slider, is it dooming time?
It is. I think that the bankruptcy really helps put a firm death grasp on listening to the player base. I do. I think that as long as NCSoft is on the brink of bankruptcy and they need Throne and Liberty to be doing well, the developer talks will keep coming and we will keep being happy. It's just that easy. Okay? It's just that easy. I'll link the video one more time so that you guys can go comment, like, subscribe on it. Amazing. I love that they do these videos. So good. So good.